Eric will function as our compliance officer as it fits within his primary mission as Public Works Director. So we're not completely without, we are just at minimal at this point.
Are we advertising for it part-time or full-time? Because I know there was some discussion in the budget whether we wanted to.
Yes, I believe have budgeted full-time.
Okay.
At this time, though, the position is still part-time. I routinely check in with Eric in that regard because he was our compliance officer for a few years, right? And at this point in time, I cannot justify having someone on board full-time in that position.
Okay.
But I'm also willing to, if circumstances warrant it, we could move to 3/4 time. Okay, one more chance of public comment. Okay, Eric.
All right. So, weirdly enough, here lately, I've been getting a lot of, I don't know why, bulk water. People calling on wanting bulk water. I really need a rate that's justifiable with the times. I think we worked out a good temporary solution with what we got in the ordinances, but I know you guys are very busy, but I need a little help. Just a little bit. So anyway,
can I answer that for you?
Answer what?
Why we haven't set a bulk rate yet? What do you know already?
What do I need to know?
Oh, well, Angie and I were waiting on what it costs with the new system to go online to figure out what the bulk rate was.
Okay.
We're waiting to see what it costs to produce a gallon of water, and so that's kind of where our last meeting left everything, was figuring out what this new system and what it was going to cost to produce a gallon of water to create a bulk rate.
And actually, with me having the new pumps in, I could come extremely close in getting you a calculation for that.
Okay, great.
So, because essentially the power costs and everything that we got now, they might be working a little bit harder pushing it up the hill, but we would be able to come very close to that. I apologize, I'll make a note so I don't forget. Okay. The other thing is for the pool, I have essentially the price for a new chlorinator and pump. It is substantially more than I thought. The pump's more than I thought it was going to be. However, I need to get with my pump guy who rebuilds the city pumps and that, and see if he can rebuild this one. Because I'm very confident he can, and that would save us a significant amount of money. But with that being said, I didn't realize how bad a shape our I've been calling it the high chair, the life deck high chair that sits up there. That actually needs to be replaced. I put a Band-Aid on it for this year, but it will definitely need to be replaced. Essentially, all I did was screw 2x6s to the bottom, and we all know those aren't going to last above a pool, right? So we got to replace that. And the other thing is the diving board needs a lot of help. I actually took it completely out of service. The way that it pivots and moves, the whole base was getting ready to go into the pool. So I took it out of service to make sure that the kids were staying safe. So I have the contractor looking at getting me those bids so that we can have a complete picture of what that total cost would look like. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
And that would be worked into our application to the trust board.
Correct. Yep. And with that being said, I'm also having Tom and Joe monitor the kids' attendance, especially on the weekends. That was asked, the water aerobics, so that we can cast how many different ages are using it, as well as keeping track, because our pool swim lesson attendance is going great, and I just wanna make sure at the end of the year, we can say we actually sent 101 kids through, swim lessons, for that, so.
And, Peter, for your benefit, there was a question of, could we justify having the pool open Saturday and Sunday?
Okay.
So we just need to get a better idea on the pool usage.
Sure.
Vivian.
Thank you. I had some people mention that they didn't even know the pool was open. Do we advertise that anywhere, like, and then where?
Social media, I believe we put advertisement paper.
Kids screaming.
Yeah, bouncing around in the pool.
Right, flashing.
Flashing.
Right.
See the fence.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is part of the regular problem. How do you keep the public generally informed in a day and age when general information is very hard to propagate? If people aren't willing to look, it's really hard to keep them informed.
I'm here to represent them, and I just did, so there you go.
Thank you. And anything else, Eric?
My new guys are doing a tremendous job. I turned, Chris today loose with the loader to do a little alley work, and, he hasn't been operating it that long and did an outstanding job. I gave him some pretty good kudos, but I doubt he'll look at the minutes, but Chris has come a long way, he's doing a great job, and so is Jake. It's been a very good breath of fresh air, so.
Cool.
One more quick question about
Yes.
the pool. As we discussed in the pool committee meeting, we're getting closer to the point where we have to figure out whether to continue patching or to proceed with trying to replace. I know I'm asking for a miracle, and it's a miracle that Timmy Rouser refused to address time and time again. We need to have an idea about where the decision between fish and cut bait is.
Mm-hmm.
If you could put a little bit of time, talk with the mayor, and try to figure out how to tell the council, when is it no longer valuable to add money to fix things? When do we seriously need to start looking at replacement? Because that official piece of information, to my knowledge, has never been presented to council in the last 5 years.
We can work on that.
Yeah, you don't need to do it tonight. Take time, because that's a really important statement. And unfortunately, the community's probably gonna hold us to it.
Right. I think there's a simple answer, though. I do. I really do. It depends on what the public wants and what the public's willing to pay for. Because you can only put lipstick on a pig for so long. And, that's what we're continuing to do. And until the public is willing to completely invest in a new pool liner and everything else, we're gonna continue to do that.
That changes the nature of the question. When do we stop opening the pool because we can no longer guarantee its safety due to the cost of maintenance?
So, a great way to look at that would be, like with the water loss that we have and how we're continuing to treat more water than what we typically should, would be, you could almost justify that the pool should be closed now. So.
And in the course of your contemplations, as if you have tons of extra time to just throw at things, probably during next year's election cycle, we could use something's gotta go to the public where it actually goes to all the public. And whether or not we put some kind of a referendum before the public that says, we need you to tell us what you want to do. There's unfortunately a few too many very vocal people who are of the, I don't have children, why are we spending a dime on the pool mentality, that they're overwhelming the discussion. And the many people who have their kids going to the pool probably aren't getting a fair representation. So we need to get a way to get pretty much everybody to say yes or no.
It's no different than what we're paying for the school when I got no kids in school.
Right.
So where do you start?
It is basically the same argument. So there comes a point when you have to ask the public, and this one might be at that point. It's just, now's the time to start thinking about whether it's a yes or a no to do that. since it's an expense on the city's part.
Yep.
Are the kids in danger at the pool?
No.
Okay.
We do our daily water test, the way that we're running it, everything's always safe, always within specs. I mean, and even if the kids gotta use the pool without a diving board, you know, remove that hazard, they're still swimming,
They're
fishing
still
around,
swimming.
getting their diving toys and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So
A
we
decision
don't
like
have to
this,
close it.
a decision like this wouldn't kick into gear until like next November. So this is a very long-term decision.
Right, but I'm saying they're not in danger.
Today.
There's something to talk about.
It is something to talk
Right.
about, and that's what's worrying me is that list of problems was a lot longer list than what was presented to you and I at the committee meeting.
Not necessarily, because even back when Tim was here, he always kept saying, we need to get a new pool liner, we need to get, you know, so
That
it's,
is true.
it's the same list. The immediate Band-Aid that we need is, we need to look at getting a new coordinator, and we've gotta get that new pump to be making our
Those are the efforts
circulation.
I think, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Probably a couple of days after the last council meeting, there, was an opportunity for 2 of our lifeguards to put their training to work. So, Eric, would you give the shout out to those?
Yeah, it was Ava and it was Logan. There was a lady who, was not in the pool, but somehow fell off of the steps, into the grass. Had a medical emergency. I was really proud of the girls. One girl got on the phone, the other girl, contained the situation until, the EMTs arrived. And they did an outstanding job relaying the information to the sheriff's office, and then the ambulance got there and did their job. And they had the forethought to get an umbrella, to give her some shade and everything else. They did an outstanding job. They did.
Wanted to make sure you all heard that.
Yes, thank you.
I was
Thank you
there.
for reminding me.
You bet. You bet. Anything